Whether you like him or not, you must admit that Adam Sandler is definitely not as funny as he once was. Regardless, I still think that Adam Sandler is an occasionally funny and talented guy who could churn out a great performance or a great film if he just puts a little more effort in and stops trying to just please the lowest common denominator. I decided to talk about Adam Sandler's films today because, honestly, I just wanted to. Here are my thoughts on the Adam Sandler films I have seen, ranked from worst to best. Number 20, Jack and Jill. Oh my god, this freaking movie. This movie is the equivalent of slamming a frying pan on your head over and over and over again. The humor is terrible, the plot, what plot? And Sandler is at his absolute worst here. I actually feel my brain cells pop every second I am watching this gift from the devil. What makes this film even worse is that Al Pacino is in it. Ugh. I actually know someone who likes this movie, and while their opinion is fine, I don't understand why. This movie is one of the worst films of all time, and is my least favorite Adam Sandler film of all time. Number 19, 8 Crazy Nights. This movie, what a cluster. What a cluster of bad writing and humor mixed with surprisingly good animation. Hey, what do you want from me? There could be kids here. I still can't believe that such good animation is accompanied by deer-eating poop, numerous product placements, racist Rob Schneider, and an old man with the most annoying voice in the world. Skip this one, people, please. Number 18, Grown-Ups. Adam Sandler, Kevin James, Chris Rock, David Spade, and a human version of syphilis star in this movie about 5 grown-up friends from college who reunite and go to vacation together with their families. And that's it! This movie has no story, no well-written or defined characters, and humor so childish and simple a baby just born could write better jokes. I am still baffled at the fact that this movie made $271 million at the box office, cost $80 million to make, and has a score of 6 on IMDb, which is, in my opinion, way too high. This abomination of society should have never been. This abomination to society should have never been made, and is one of the worst films I have ever seen. Number 17. Bedtime Stories. Combine unfunny Adam Sandler, disturbing Russell Brand, the talented Kerry Russell and Guy Pearce suckered into appearing into this movie, and a concept that is trying to be heartwarming and inspiring but actually comes off as cliched and stupid, you get this awful movie. There really isn't much else to say about this movie because it is surprisingly dull and bland for a movie about a man and the problems he must deal with when his kids' bedtime stories come to life. Also surprising in this movie is how disturbing Russell Brand's character is. He's supposed to be like the goofy uncle-like figure in this movie, kind of like Rob Schneider's character in Big Daddy. But instead of being goofy, he just comes off as creepy and troubling. Only watch this movie if you want to kill some time and or fall asleep. Number 16, Pixels. One of the more recent Adam Sandler films on this list, this film had the potential to be super awesome, but most definitely isn't. This movie is about video game characters who receive a message from Earth, misinterpreting the message as an act of war, and come to Earth with the intent of invasion and complete takeover of the Earth. The concept of this movie, while already used in an episode of Futurama, is still very interesting and different, but hilarious things can be done with this concept. But instead of doing something different, this movie follows the exact same storyline, beat for beat, as many other Adam Sandler films. Sandler, the lovable but misunderstood goofball, has to fight for his way to glory, falls in love with an attractive woman who's way out of his league, and must deal with a bully that is constantly trying to put him down. There are so many jokes and creative possibilities that could have been done with this premise, but the writers and Sandler instead just follow the regular old storyline and same old jokes because it's easier? Sean Bean, who is known for his numerous on-screen deaths, plays a general in this movie and does nothing funny or anything that is significant to the plot. That is such a huge missed opportunity over there. Since Sean Bean is known for dying so many times in many films, couldn't you do a running gag where his character keeps dying and also maybe he comments on how tired he is of dying so much? That could have been really funny. Since Sandler and the writers don't go that route, the movie becomes very forgettable despite some impressive special effects and action sequences. Give this one a pass. Number 15. The Waterboy. I get why people like this movie, but I personally don't. To me, this movie is just a discount Happy Gilmore, except this movie features a surprisingly racist stereotype of Southern people played by Kathy Bates. I don't really have anything else to say about this movie other than it's basically the exact same movie as Happy Gilmore, except worse. Therefore, I'll just stop and move on to the next film. Number 14. The Longest Yard. Again, another pretty forgettable sports movie starring Adam Sandler. This one is a remake of the original film from the 70s of the same name, both featuring Burt Reynolds. With the exception of the dull and cliched plot, this movie features a disturbing image of male prisoners in female cheerleader outfits, an unfunny joke about a player who poops himself when he gets hit, and a deathless performance from Burt Reynolds who constantly looks like he wants to run away from the set and never return. Definitely give this one a pass. Number 13. Anger Management. Jesus, how many forgettable and subpar films has Sandler made? This one stars Sandler as a man who has to deal with his anger issues and must go to therapy, and his therapist ends up being super eccentric and is played by Jack Nicholson. I can't really comment on anything that was really good or bad in this movie because honestly, everything is just really dull and forgettable. The jokes, the writing, the acting, everything else is just okay. I guess Jack Nicholson is occasionally entertaining in this movie, but overall, I just don't really like it that much. I don't love it, but I don't hate it. So it's just okay, I guess. Number 12. Billy Madison. One of Adam Sandler's first films, in this one, Sandler plays the idiot son to a rich entrepreneur named Brian Madison, who must retake school grades kindergarten to 12 if he is to ever claim his father's company and fortune. In his way is Eric Gordon, played by Bradley Whitford, who is the current successor chosen by his dad. While not amazing or even good, this film is still very entertaining despite some awkward pacing and jokes that don't really work. Sandler isn't his best in this film, but he is kind of funny sometimes. In my opinion, the best part of this movie is Bradley Whitford. He is an incredible actor and is just so funny in this movie. The film does have a lot of bad things about it, but in my opinion, has more good. Not a glowing endorsement, but I would still recommend it if someone asked me about this movie. So yeah, go see it if you want. Number 11. Big Daddy. I actually think that overall, Billy Madison is a better film than Big Daddy. Big Daddy features an annoying, possibly racist character played by a walking, talking carrot, many jokes that don't work, and a performance by the Sprouse twins, which is truly awful. Thank God Cole is good in Riverdale. However, despite all its flaws, I have decided to put this film on the list higher than Billy Madison because of its entire third act. I won't spoil what happens, but it is quite interesting and gets really emotional. The ending, while satisfying, isn't a completely happy ending and doesn't wrap up everything smoothly. There are still problems that Sandler's character has to go through, but he is still content with how much he has grown and knows that he can eventually overcome his problems. While not a good film, it is still worth the watch just for that whole third act.